Hello everyone, today we're going to be playing some Magic Puzzle Quest. Magic Puzzle Quest is a hybrid between the Magic trading card game and the Puzzle Quest matching game. This is a free-to-play game available on mobile, both Android and iOS. And if you're interested in trying it out after watching the video, you can download it from the sponsored link in the description. I was drawn to playing this game because I've played Magic for over 20 years. It's basically been the sort of biggest influence in my entire life, so I thought maybe I would check out the puzzle game based on it, and I've been having fun with it. So let's jump in and just see how it plays. All right, here we are. So far I have played through the first chapter of the story. You go through as a planeswalker in this, and you fight against different opponents using the sort of puzzle system. And let's just go ahead and jump into the next chapter. All right, and when you're playing a challenge here, there are various sort of achievements that you can get and give you additional rewards. As I mentioned earlier, the game is free to play, and you can earn the currencies just through both overcoming the objectives in the storyline mode as well as completing these particular things. So let's just jump in and play. So I am playing Nissa, which is sort of appropriate since my favorite color in Magic has always been green. But it's also just the starting planeswalker you are. And here we are as Nissa going up against Elvish Visionary. And the way that the game works is that you use the mana that you get from the matching game here to play cards. And most of those cards are creatures. There are some other non-creature cards like spells, as well as what are called support cards. These are sort of the artifacts and enchantments that would be in Magic. And most cards are actually pretty similar. If you're a Magic player, you'll recognize them from the trading card game. And many of them actually have some pretty similar functions to what they actually do in Magic as well. Like this is Elvish Visionary. This, when it enters the battlefield, it converts 3 gems to green. So it gives you additional resource of some kind of like Elvish Visionary does in Magic. So in order to play the cards, you have to get the mana of this cost here. So this costs us 5 total mana. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to move this up. You can arrange the order of the cards in your hand. That's the order in which you will play those cards when you get mana. So I'm going to go ahead and put my cheapest card first. And then here, we'll just go ahead and jump in here. And you see that we just got a little hint here. By matching 3 or more of a color in a row, you get mana of that color. And it matters that it's of that color because we see our planeswalker here. This is Nissa. I'm a level 3 planeswalker, not particularly high level, so I haven't unlocked additional abilities yet. But I can use loyalty, which I also sort of fill up as I match the tiles, in order to use these abilities. But I also have mana bonuses and mana penalties based on the color I'm affiliated with, as well as the opposing colors. And if you're a Magic player, these are the allied and opposing colors that you would expect from that particular color. So we get bonuses for matching green, and we get penalties for matching black and blue. So when possible, we want to try and match as much green as we can, and not black or blue. So you want to match 3 in a row. This is telling me to go here, which is actually pretty good because any combination of 3 that you line up will give you mana. So even though we're getting penalized for matching blue, we're matching multiple sets of blue here, and there we go. We get a bunch of mana for it. And we get a bonus swap here. I haven't quite figured out exactly why you get bonus swaps sometimes. I think it's when you have sort of combinations that come together. But we're going to go ahead, I think, match this. It's telling me to do this. I don't want to do this. This is Planeswalker mana, which doesn't actually give you mana to play spells. This Planeswalker symbol, matching these, gives you loyalty, which is what you use to use your Planeswalker abilities that I showed a little bit earlier. So we're going to go ahead and play this. And this is going to let us cast our first spell. So we can cast... Oh, we got a bunch of cascading stuff. And we cast Elvish Visionary. So we get a 1/1 creature in play. We're just going off. We just keep getting extra swaps because we keep getting these combinations. We'll take this one. So boom. All right. So now we have a 1/1 creature in play. And just like in Magic, creatures basically have summoning spells. They don't get to attack the turn that they come into play. But ultimately, your creatures will attack your opponent. All right. And you draw a card every turn. We just drew another Elvish Visionary. And the way it works is if you actually have 2 of the same creature, you'll actually just basically stack them on top of each other. You can only have 3 creatures at a time So that will buff up our Elvish Visionary here. So we're going to go ahead. It wants us to swap this. And this will give us 4 blue. That's a pretty good swap. You actually have any amount of time in order to make your swaps. Oh, we actually just saw, so this has an ability. We saw our opponent play a support card. We actually kind of went, but by that probably a little too fast, but this, when it enters the battlefield, destroys 1 support gem your opponent controls. So Conclave Naturalists in Magic, it kills an artifact or enchantment. This kills a support, which, as I mentioned earlier, is usually the artifacts and enchantments that you would recognize from Magic. So it's also a 4/4 creature, which is pretty big, because this is going to hit my opponent every turn. This is your health. I'm at 30, they're at 37, but your creatures just keep attacking them every turn. So after not too long, you'll start doing some serious damage. So we're gonna go ahead and make our swap. I will go. It's telling me to go here. Sure, we're not gonna worry too much about exactly making the optimal plays here. But again, you can reorder the things in your hand. So if I want to, we drew Undercity Trolls. So this guy's pretty sweet. He costs 13 mana, which is quite a lot, but he has Renown 1 and Regenerate 3. Renown, just like in Magic, it gets bigger when it hits your opponent, so every time after the first time it hits them, it does extra damage. And Regenerate, it heals. Your creatures don't typically get in combat quite as often as they do in Magic because there's no built-in blocking. Only creatures with a defender ability actually block. Otherwise, your creatures just keep attacking your opponent. So we're actually I'm going to show the support here. We have a bunch of mana into it already. If you do have a card that has a lot of mana into it, but you draw a new card you want to play instead, you can always just reorder things by clicking and dragging them up. So you can, we'll move our troll up here, so it'll be the next creature we play. Our opponent hasn't really played anything except for that 1 support card, which we blew up, so joke's on them. Seems sort of sad that we're using the Elvish Visionary card to beat up Elvish Visionary. All right, there's a Freakus Disciple, and this has Renown. It also, we'll see that in a moment. So we're gonna get our Sigil out here. So Sigil's a support card, and this says if you control 1 creature, your first creature gets +3/+3. If you controls 2 creatures, first gets +2/+2. And if you control 3 creatures, first creature, I assume, gets +1/+1, but I can't read it down there. But it's sort of appropriate because it's an exalted card, basically, or at least cares about the exalted mechanic in Magic, I think attacking alone. So we're going to go, this wants us to swap for the Planeswalker gems. I don't really like Planeswalker gems. I like to play things, play creatures and beat my opponent down, just like in Magic, really. So, but I don't really see another good swap. So we're just going to, we're just going to go ahead and do this. We got no actual mana, you see. We only got loyalty. It didn't increase the rate of casting that spell. And this Llanowar Empath, when it enters the battlefield, see this in Magic, Llanowar Empath, you can potentially draw the top card of your deck. And we just saw this, the Berserker. Berserker is a creature with this symbol. It can attack an opposing creature. So we just saw it attack my elf and do 2 damage to it. So my elf died. So now we're going to go ahead and get our bonus mana here from green. Boom, we'll play our Sigil. And now my guy becomes a 7/7 because he's the only guy I have. Ooh, I forgot about launch. Oh, it's actually just a bunch of loyalty there, not mana. Get all the loyalty you want. You can actually click on your opponent's sort of hero character here, and Visionary just has draw a card, which is the same ability I have. Which is kind of sad, really, when you think about it. I'm Nissa Sage Animus. This is just an Elvish Visionary. It even takes less to draw cards. What's going on? I feel like a miserable planeswalker. I also just haven't leveled up very much. You can get additional abilities as Alright, and we're gonna go ahead. Boom. This is just gonna, our guy, see, just keeps attacking our opponent, and now we win. We've defeated the Elvish Visionary. And for defeating the Elvish Visionary, we get some rewards. Boom. We earned 360 of these. And then we completed this, we completed both of the achievement things and got additional crystals. Let's go take a look at how we use those. So we earned, you see up here, we have 3,000 of the runes and 245 of the crystals. So let's go to the vault. The vault is where you can get new stuff to improve your decks. So here we have a whole bunch of these runes, and we have 245 crystals. So we actually have enough to buy a fat pack, which has 4 different packs and gives us bonus chances, or I guess not probably bonus chances, just give you better chances than just buying 1 pack. Is probably what it means. But let's just go ahead and buy it. We're gonna take this 200 crystals, buy ourselves a fat pack, and now we get to open our packs. What's more fun in games than opening packs? Boom. And all of the cards that you open have colors, much like they would in Magic. And you can click on each of these things to see what cards you get. Alchemist Vial. So this disables a creature till the start of your turn and draw a card. It's a spell, kind of a weak spell, I think. Some red cards. Subterranean Scout. 2/1 creature in Magic. 2/1 creature here. Though it costs 4 mana rather than 2. Everything's a bit more expensive in this game compared to actual Magic. Target creature with attacker who controls is controlled by you and gains haste. So it's exactly Act of Treason. And then, you have this Force Mage. And there's the battlefield. Target creature gets +2/+2 until the beginning of your next turn. It costs 10. That doesn't seem particularly exciting. That's a lot of mana to pay for a 2/2, unless you're boosting some big Death Touch or a Berserker guy. All right, boom. Let's open this one. This guy's actually okay. He costs 9 mana, but he gives you actually it's not mana for 3 worth of stats, but it gives you across 2 bodies. It's not really that good. Because you can only have 3 creatures in play at a time. Things that generate additional guys. We're looking for green cards. We got ourselves a green. There's no green card. Ooh, a rare. Deal 4 damage to target creature. If there are 8 or more gems on the board, deal 4 damage to your opponent. Okay, that's kind of cool. I think this seems like a pretty good card to me. It can, help you control the board. 4 damage to a creature is quite a bit. Ooh, we just got 2 Ravaging Blazes? I might need to make a red deck. Wow. Alright. This isn't super exciting. Keep going 3. Calculated Dismissal. Alright. And then Rabid Bloodsucker. Pretty vanilla. It's a 10 mana 2/2 flyer. So flying, if you ever want to know what a keyword is on a thing, they all have symbols. You can always click on them and it tells you what it means. This can only be blocked by creatures with reach, which reach is actually basically can block flyers. Which is a pretty powerful ability. All right, let's check out our green card first. Ooh, we got ourselves a rare. When it enters the battlefield, each support in your hand gains 3 mana. When you cast a support, gain 3 life. Herald of the Pantheon in the card game gains you life when you play enchantments and increases or decreases the cost of playing enchantments. So again, supports act much like enchantments and artifacts in Magic, and the cards that are associated with them are pretty similar. This is a pretty sweet card. It's actually a 4/4 for 7, which is just in itself very good compared to a lot of the stuff that I have. In general, I've actually been pretty unimpressed by support cards, at least the ones that I have. But anyway, we'll probably put that in our deck. Let's see what this is. Thunderclap Wyvern, 3/4. Other creature with flying get +1/+1. We don't have very many flyers, so I guess we're also just playing a green deck. So this guy's pretty boring. Valor in Akros. When a creature you control enters the battlefield, a creature you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Support. It costs 20. All right, we'll forget it. It's 20 so much. Catacomb Slug, 17. Pretty expensive. All right, Nissa pack, do me right. Boom. When you summon a creature with power 4 or more, you draw 1 card. It's not bad as far as supports go. One of the things is, at least with the cards that I have right now, I'm rarely running low on cards. Founder of the Consoles, summon 4 1/1 Thopters with flying. So the way that this works, as I mentioned, if you summon multiple things of the same type, they actually just stack. So this basically just gives you a 4/4 Thopter, which is a little confusing to have it kind of written that way, but I don't understand why it's a 4/4 Thopter, considering that's what it does. So this is a 4/3 with reach. We'll click on that. That's a symbol. Has defender and can block flying creatures. That's actually pretty reasonable. Gold for Sentinel, 11 cost 4/4 flyer. Okay. And Maritime Guard. This is a guard, you see, it has defender. So it defends planeswalkers from enemy creatures if possible. So things will have to attack the defender in order to get through. So, alright, well, here's our new cards. Alright, well, and you can also buy planeswalkers. You have to have a planeswalker of the appropriate color in order to play a color. You can only play cards that are associated with that color. So right now, I have Nissa. Nissa's the starting planeswalker that everyone has, and we can go ahead and get something else. So we're gonna buy Chandra. We did get those 2 red rares, so if we want, we can build a deck with Chandra. We'll go to our planeswalkers. This is deck building, and first we'll take a look at Nissa's deck. We see you can use your currency to level up your planeswalkers. So I haven't really used all that much to level up. Let's click on our Nissa. So right now, look at our abilities. Once we get to level 14, which is pretty far away, that we can get Nature's Gift, which each of your creatures gets +3/+3 into the end of your turn. Kind of like an overrun effect, which seems really powerful, but we're pretty far away from that. So let's check out our deck. So if you are not really super into trying to figure out exactly how you want to put things together, you can always use the quick improvements. You just press that button, and it offers you. It's like, oh, you can put this in your deck instead of this, and it's like, okay, sure, we'll add Warhorn instead of Pilgrimage. And then now it wants to add Elemental Bond instead of Pilgrimage. Sure. Then we'll put in the Herald of the Pantheon instead of the Orchard Spirit. And this is a pretty obvious example of one card being pretty dramatically better than the other. Orchard Spirit is just a 6-cost 2/2. Herald of the Pantheon is a 7-cost 4/4 with multiple abilities. So let's go ahead and put that in there. And then it says you have all the best cards added right now. But if you want, you can. But yeah, I don't trust you, computer. I rarely trust anyone who says they can build decks better than me. So here, let's go take a look. And you can go and just sort of swap cards in and out, looking at all the cards that you can possibly include in your deck. You can only play cards of your color, or at least that share a color with your planeswalker. And you have to have a certain number of each of the types of cards. You have to have 7 creatures, 1 spell, and 2 supports, which I've actually often kind of wanted to have fewer supports because most of the supports that I've found so far to be pretty unimpressive. Like this one, this is a support. Beginning of your turn, convert 1 gem to green. It's like that's just not that powerful an effect. And like I said while we were playing, I like to attack. I like to, just like in actual Magic, I focus on getting on the board and giving my opponent a beatdown. So this is the spell we have in our deck right now, which is move the next creature from your library to your hand. If there are 8 or more green on the board, move a second creature from your library to your hand. Destroy the next 4 creatures in your library. No, this was put in earlier when I did the quick improvements. I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. Here, we don't want you in our deck. Remove. That doesn't really seem like it's particularly important, especially as Nissa we have the ability to draw cards. So something else that just draws more cards for me. This is Warhorn. When creature control attacks gets +1/+0. The other turn it costs 14. I don't think we want that either. Let's get that out of our deck. I think we just want Wild Instincts. This is the spell we want. This gives +2/+2 and Berserker to a creature until the end of your turn. So this lets us kill opposing guys, which is pretty important. I mentioned earlier that I like to play for getting on the board and getting to attack my opponent. And this is the only spell that we have that allows us to directly interact with our opponent's guys. We're gonna add that to our deck. And then as far as supports are concerned, I think this is a good one because it modifies our creatures in play. And if we have 1 creature in play, it's actually very powerful. 2, it's still pretty powerful. So I like the Sigil of Valor. I found that most games I rarely have 3 creatures in play. They tend to end not super long after that happens. I found that most of the time when either I or my opponent spends our early turns playing supports, then that player loses. We'll put this in our deck. It's at least cheap. And we have to play 2, so I feel like this one's actually good, and this one is at least cheap, and especially with Herald, I can possibly play it for free. And then our creatures, the Herald is great. I'm pretty stoked that I have Herald. This guy only costs 3, but he can't attack unless you have another creature. I actually think I want to add this to my deck. He costs 3, which you can get on the board pretty quickly. I guess if you don't have another creature, it doesn't do anything, but even just having... he seems better than Orchard Spirit. We don't have Orchard Spirit in our deck right now, though. What do we have? We need something cheap. Actually, let's take Visionary out. Let's put Leaf Gilder instead of Visionary. Leaf Gilder at least has 2 power. We're going to confirm. Alright, we got a deck. So let's jump in and try our new deck. We'll go back to the campaign mode, and we're playing against Dwinen's Elite. Let's battle. Alright, here we go. Alright, so we start, and we want to take a look at our hand. Ooh, this is a pretty bad hand. We certainly don't want both of our wild instincts in our opening hand. We're going to go put our creature first. That's generally what I found is that, as I mentioned, it's important to be playing guys early, so I want to put our creature first. We're going to go ahead and swap this. Gives us a 4 in a row. Alright, let's go. Oh, we drew Conquered Lateralists. This is another creature. We're just going to go put it up here in case we get any spillover. We want to put it into a new creature rather than into one of these spells, especially when our opponent doesn't have anything in play yet. And a 1/1 elf. Alright. Nope. And an Elvish Visionary. Ooh, hey. How nice of you to put that. Let's move this over in front of this. Our opponent doesn't have any supports right now, so we I think want to cast our biggest guy first and then cast another small guy, because this guy is only 4 away from being cast. You can see their cost here. So we can go ahead and we're going to be able to cast that now, actually, because we can match this. Boom. I assume. Ooh. So this is Timberpack Wolf. If you've played Magic, you've seen Timberpack Wolf in Magic. Cares about being a bunch of wolves. This is even better than this. We'll move it up. Though it does cost 13, which is a lot. So we're going to go ahead and we'll match these. Sure, it told us to match these. We'll match those. Alright. We have a 4 green combo here, which is good for us. And now our opponent right now is hitting us for as much as we're taking, just because our opponent has 4 total power worth of guys, but that's spread across 3 guys. So we're gonna play 1 more guy, and all of a sudden we have a lot more power here. Angel's Tomb. Whenever it has a creature that gets +3/+3 flying. We just keep drawing trolls. And this is what I was talking about with Nissa's ability not really being all that impressive. I'm gonna actually move this up. Yeah, I'm never running out of cards. It's just a matter of, do I actually have good cards to play? This guy's getting reinforced. Angels. Okay. Yeah, we're getting beat down. Yeah, we gotta move. We may move this up. No, well, what are we at? Hold on. We're at 12 to 21 here. Actually, this guy is gonna lose his Angel's Tomb ability, but if he plays another guy, another one of these, we could get Angel's Tombed next turn. So we're actually losing this race. We're taking 6 and 6. So I'm gonna move Wild Instincts up. We may not be able to win this race at this point with Wild Instincts thanks to the Angel's Tomb. Maybe I should have cast Naturalists. I would be able to kill the tomb, but I didn't know that was coming until it was too late to really get to that point. Let's go ahead. There's no good swaps for me here. Like, this is a blue swap, which we get a penalty on, and this would be a black swap we get a penalty on. Everything's kind of bad for us here. At least we hit a Cascade there. Nice. We got a troll, but I don't know if this is. It's going to be good. Our opponent is able to reinforce one of these. Probably is going to die like next turn. So we need to actually cast this turn. We need to cast the Wild Instinct. So we have to somehow get 7 mana. That's a lot of mana. Any good swaps here? I don't see any particularly good ones. This one gives us a 4, but that's not enough. We may, if he doesn't actually have anything good, we'll be in good shape. We might just die. No, please don't. Don't Angels Tomb me. Battlefield Forge. Okay, this is what I was talking about with these supports just not really doing anything. Alright, we're gonna win. This is a close one. I'm down to 2. So this is why, as I mentioned, it's very important to just get on board and be killing your opponents. Playing the supports just barely does anything in a lot of cases. Alright, that was a close one. We won. Victory. So, yeah, we got this. Reward. And then, apparently, we got the defenseless one. We didn't play any weak creatures, I guess. And we cast no supports. I'm just a beatdown artist here. So, and we're down to 2, and that your life loss carries between each thing. So we can go ahead and heal ourselves. Boop. We have a limited number of heals. But anyway, I hope that that goes to sort of show the elements of both sort of in-game strategy of trying to maneuver the cards in your hand to match up with what your opponent's doing, deck building, trying to have cards that work well together, as well as a reasonable balance of curve, so you don't just have a bunch of really expensive creatures or supports that don't really do anything. At least synergistically with what your deck is doing. This is a really sweet game. I've been enjoying it so far. It's a nice departure from the usual TCG style of games that I do play most of the time, and I really like the sort of Magic twist on it. The fact that I can generally have an idea of what to expect things to do based on my knowledge of the cards from Magic is really cool. So anyway, if you do like what you see, as I said at the beginning of the video, you can download the game through my sponsored link below. And I may come back and record some more gameplay, maybe trying out different planeswalkers, building some more decks. Anyway, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.